All right, Coach, thank you. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Mass. Tonight, it's a preseason matchup here in Week 3 between the Carolina Panthers and the New England Patriots. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line.
Wait, set, 53! Hit! Let's go! We need hit! Hey, Alabama.
Brady now on first down. And he will find his man for the first time, Demaryius Thomas. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Brady. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 11 yards there, first down.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a first down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, usually gets it done.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 7 yards there and a first down.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And this is a guy straight out of college. They're not going to try to groom for a year or two. They want him to produce right away.
That's why they took him in the first round. They expect him to be a starter right away and a future all-pro. So they don't have any time to wait for him to come along. They want him to play right now to help this team.
They added a lot of talent to a roster that really needed an infusion of youth. They got a very good infusion of youth.
And they didn't really reach to get anyone as well. They stuck to their draft philosophy, got the best players they could at the time they were drafting, and inserted them into their lineup.
Throwing is Brady on third down. And that's complete. It's Watson. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Call that a very strong gain of 24. And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far on the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
They go play action for White. Now it's Brady. Open man is Gordon, complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. It's his first catch, and it'll be good for 15 at a first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Brady's got his guys 1st and 10, and he's 5 for 6 now throwing the ball on this drive. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. You know, last week I remember asking you, what would an offensive coordinator be looking for week 2 of the preseason? Now we're under pressure. Down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Brian Burns brings him down, and that's a play he's going to remember. The first sack of his NFL career.
We always talk about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting him score a touchdown versus holding him to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on third down. So they'll likely get a few more drives before we see the second team, but a good start for the first unit with 3 points.
Yeah, good start, and now they want to see them build on it because you're exactly right. They'll get a few more drives at this stage of the preseason. Can they continue to evolve and add to what we just saw in the first drive?
So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by the NFL's most valuable player from 2015. It's Cam Newton.
There are a number of great quarterbacks in the NFL, but I have to believe that the prototype in terms of look has to be Cam Newton. That stature and frame, almost breathtaking when you see him in person. And now he's starting to put it all together with consistency in his game, throwing, running, leading.
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 18. A first carry for Christian McCaffrey, who made his first Pro Bowl last year. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Newton, meanwhile, here connecting with McCaffrey. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
This is something that we expected to see. McCaffrey used out of the backfield. 107 catches in 2018, the most in one season by an NFL running back.
On 1st and 10, Newton. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
I'm not sure that this play was designed for him specifically, but they got through the progressions and got the ball to him. So, second catch on the drive. He may not be a primary guy, but they definitely want him involved, don't they?
Absolutely. This early, the opening drive, as you said, 2 catches. So, if they can get him going in the passing game, that should open up his running game, too. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Here's Artis Payne. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 9 yards the pickup there, and it's a first down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter, and it's our visitors with the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10.
Ready? Going in. Here we go.
From the 50, Newton. Flushed out right. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A first down, a 16-yard gain.
Even at the age of 30, Cam says it's just a number. Still a real threat running the football. We all know about the touchdowns, but ran for 488 yards last season. That was 4th among all NFL quarterbacks. He can still tote the mail.
Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up first downs.
Here we go. Here we go. 80. 180. 6 guys.
Back to the ground on first. It's McCaffrey. The ball's out. McCaffrey lost it, and it's picked up by the Patriots. In. Touchdown, New England. Big boy earning his lunch. That's what you call rumbling with the ball, Charles.
Big man with football. He wasn't just earning lunch, Brandon. He was earning dinner. He was
midnight snack.
Everything that you could possibly do, he did it on that play to pick up the ball and go.
Extra point good by Gostkowski. And the lead grows to 10-0. This is taken at the 3. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Christian McCaffrey and the Panthers about set to go on offense. Looking for a bounce back. Had the fumble a moment ago that went for a touchdown the other direction. See if he can get back in rhythm.
And you have to be very careful about having too quick of a hook with really good players. I did a guy's game in high school where he fumbled 3 times in the first quarter, finished with over 300 yards on the night, later ended up in the NFL. If you've got a talented back, give it back to him.
Heck of a start, a 30-yard pickup on their first play from scrimmage. For an offense that has not found the end zone yet, that's a big play.
There's the spark right there. The big play that they needed. Now they've got to go ahead and finish this drive and put this ball in the end zone.
And he's taken down inside the 30. Add the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total. His first carry of their second drive, pretty solid. And, of course, remember back to their first drive, really strong throughout that one.
Not only is he getting good blocking up front, but how about his vision to find the holes? And he's seeing things before they even open and hurdling through them.
And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. They get 9 yards back on the run there, and they're left with a much more makeable 3rd and 2.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
It's a gain of 3, and it gets into first.
I haven't met a football team yet that runs the ball successfully that doesn't talk about having an attitude to be a running football team, right? You got to be able to put your nose in there, smell where the first down sticks are, and get there.
On first down, this is McCaffrey. And he'll get 7 yards from the 17 to the 10 before he's taken down.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Here's McCaffrey. And here he'll get it down to the 7.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Now Newton. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete. Christian McCaffrey, last year's catch leader among running backs, the intended receiver. But it'll be 2nd and goal. These offensive starters still out there in the second quarter. You would think the plans for them to at least play into the third quarter, not all the way through it.
Yeah, it might go by feel. If they have a really good first drive to start the third quarter, they might pull them after that. If not, might leave them out there a little bit longer, but I'll guarantee this, they'll be gone by the start of the fourth quarter.
2 incompletions haven't moved him any closer, and likely throwing again. And he's got it. Touchdown, Panthers. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Panthers have got it back to a 1-score game. No surprise there. 3rd and goal down here. That's where they're going to look for their tight end.
Yeah, you want that big guy running his routes because it doesn't matter who they cover him with. If it's another big guy, he might use his bulk against him. If it's a shorter defender, might go over the top. Either way, you tend to find a little bit of a mismatch in that area.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Patriots offense now, they work their way back onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Brady's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Brady to the right side and complete to Thomas. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
He's come a long way since his time at Georgia Tech. What did he run at Tech? He ran hitches and go routes, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, but he ran them really well. He averaged well over 20 yards a catch while he was there. And he still creates downfield in the NFL. That big body and that willingness to go catch the football. He's pretty impressive.
And his friends call him Bebe, the nickname his uncle gave him back in the day. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. 10-7, our score. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Now that screen there on second down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying is one thing. We can second-guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize it is broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the first down on third down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. Carolina getting set to take the field. And you figure, Charles, they have enough time here in the first half, more than a minute, to put a drive together, at least get them in position to try a field goal.
Yeah, they've got all three timeouts at their disposal, so I'm actually thinking bigger. With those three timeouts, that amount of time on the clock, I'm thinking about trying to get a touchdown and settle for a field goal.
And he slides to avoid the hit. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down. The Panthers got to go quickly. They're moving with a sense of urgency right now. They'll run with McCaffrey, and they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. On first down, Newton. And he will find the open man. It's DJ Moore. And he gets this deep into Patriot territory. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. If there was one area that the coach emphasized in our pregame meeting, it was red zone offense.
In the sense I got from it, and I think you did as well, they weren't real happy with how they were executing previously, so they put a lot of time and effort into it, because getting points is paramount. Doesn't matter what you do otherwise, don't leave the red zone without putting points on the board. I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. Greg Olsen was the intended target, and it'll bring up third down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. Dietrich Wise Jr. able to drop him for a loss of 2, and that will bring up fourth down. And offensively, they'll take the timeout with 6 seconds left in the second quarter. So they won't get a touchdown, but here's a chance to at least get 3 to end the first half. This just a 35-yard attempt from the left hash. And it bangs off the right upright, no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So, yes, they'll still be down going into intermission, but the deficit is now made even smaller, very manageable.
Yeah, and if nothing haywire happens here in his last couple of precious seconds, they will go into the locker room with a nice bounce in their step, having gotten a little bit closer on the scoreboard.
So we've hit halftime, just a field goal. We now proceed to the start of the second half. Our starters likely to be out there for the third quarter as we get back underway in this second half. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. Out come the Panthers. They'll have it first on offense in the third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Torrey Smith, the intended receiver, and it's second down.
Just work with me a second here because in my lifetime, seeing how quarterback percentages have changed in throwing the football, I mean, back in the good old days, if you were around 50%, you were doing okay. But now, you need to be 65 to 70% to be considered an elite quarterback. And in this ball game, I feel like we're playing old school, right around 50%.
Yeah, he's under 50%. He needs to start hitting more targets. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. And he's got his target. That's Moore. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A good pickup there at 22. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
He's still having trouble moving the ball on the ground.
Yeah, so much for halftime adjustment. Sometimes the best adjustment you make is no adjustment. You just do things better. But in this case, I think an adjustment was in order. They may have to change up and start throwing the ball around a little bit more.
On 2nd and 12, Newton over the middle and into the hands of his receiver Moore. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Cam fakes the give and keeps it. Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out. And it's picked up by the Patriots. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line.
No coach or team's ever happy when someone has a turnover, but if there's ever a good time to do it,
preseason.
Yeah, right now. You know that come regular season, he's going to be ready to go, and maybe he'll remember, yeah, I don't want to do this when it comes time for the games to count.
They'll try to get this offense going with Michelle. Nowhere to go that time. Might have gotten a yard up to the 25.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
On 2nd and 9, Brady. Throw to the right here to Gordon. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Now Brady. He hits his target, left side, Watson. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice, easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40.
That's how we do it. That's how we do it.
Well, that's the second time they've gotten to Brady, and you've got to do it a variety of ways. You want your regular pressure. Sometimes you have to bring extra. But in this case, they got to him, and that just doesn't happen very often.
It's a rarity. He's just such a veteran. His pocket presence so good. But, hey, tip of the cap to the D. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check-down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
Well, looking at it from a defensive perspective, that keeps the deficit very, very manageable. You know, all things considered, not a bad job on the defensive side.
I would say that you've pointed out something pretty good right there, and that is you actually have both sides happy with that exchange. You know, happy in quotes, of course. One team, hey, we've kept it within range. The other side saying, hey, we put points on the board and did stretch out the lead. Let's see how this one turns out.
Yeah, still bottom line, though, 3 points for the opening drive of the third quarter. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they felt like they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? On 2nd and 7, Newton. Over the middle, that's complete to McCaffrey. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one a gain of 20 and a first down. We often, with Cam Newton, talk a lot about his legs. Don't forget about that arm.
He can throw it on a rope. He can loft it. He's got the touch that's been developed throughout his career. But the big part about just watching him throw it, it seems almost effortless.
Newton. It's hauled in by Torrey Smith. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Newton now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. There's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Back now in Foxborough. It's the Panthers in possession of the football, but facing a deficit here as we get to the 4th and final quarter of play. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Newton now to throw. Eluding the pressure right. He's got the first down inside the 10. Newton able to use those legs and get past the marker to pick up the first. So an instance there of Cam being Cam. We know he can use his legs.
And with that big body, it's hard to get him down, even if you get a clear shot on him. Plus, he moves it a lot faster than what people think.
And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. Dietrich Wise able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, they took a sack on 1st and goal. But that close to the goal line, it still definitely hurts.
Another try after the first down sack. Newton, and he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. A nice job to get 11 out of that pass play, but now they face a 3rd and goal. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him.
And he will score. Touchdown, Panthers. Cam Newton, ready for the regular season with his second touchdown of the game. And the Panthers, they're just an extra point away now from taking the lead. A very important extra point there, up and good. And they have taken the lead here in this fourth quarter. That time, a 9-play drive. And Cam able to take it himself in for the score. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Patriots offense, they worked their way back out onto the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Boyd. Left side, it's Dorsett. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He's going to air it out for Dorsett. It's caught inside the 25. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Patriot touchdown. Philip Dorsett, 70 yards. And once again, the Patriots are back out in front. So now a big spot for the Pats as they'll go for 2. Might be seeing that one on the highlight shows tonight. The home run ball here in the fourth quarter to take the lead.
There's nothing like being aggressive, preaching that to your team, and then following through. All the way through. Go ahead and throw one more up there. Why not?
Been a great game, and we are not done yet. This will be fielded at the 6. Then he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Now the Panthers offense, they get set to come back onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their own 27. A shotgun snap for Newton. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39.
Here we go.
Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down. Good route, good pickup for first down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
And he'll get it down to the 47 here. 7 yards there and a first down.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snap.
And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. He was trying to keep his eyes downfield. Nobody came open.
He's trying to do everything that he had been taught, right? Every bit of the technique. But if no one's open, there is no technique except make sure you hold on to the ball as you go to the ground when you're getting sacked.
Gun.
After the sack on first down, Newton, and he finds a man with a crossing route. And, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
And now it's 1st and 10, a big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage.
52, 52's the mic. Great. You can't block me.
Out of the gun, Newton. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. Call it a pickup of 7, and it'll be 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They've become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive.
52. I got one. 52.
Now a run with McCaffrey. And able to get him inside the 5 here, just inside the 5 to about the 4. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. He'll look to throw to the goal line, but it's incomplete. So this defense, they looked a little shaky to start the drive, but bottom line, they're a play away from finishing it off.
They rocked them a little bit on this drive, didn't they? But as you and I both know, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. They have a chance to end it right here.
Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 1:06 left to go in the game. And down by 5, they've got to go for it here on 4th down. Here we go on 4th. Newton. And this is caught. And that could seal it. It's a touchdown.
Wow. I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but not. You got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way. I think we can figure out why they went for 2 there, right? Up 1, you want to make it a field goal difference if at all possible. They didn't get it. Now they've got to play some defense down the stretch.
Yeah, not much margin for error now for your D. They just have to get it into range. So the Patriots now down on the scoreboard. A little over a minute to go. You can't say the preseason isn't interesting. This has been great as they come up 1st and 10. He's back to throw. And there's the first NFL catch for N'Keal Harry. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. They'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Trying to erase that deficit all at once. One big shot. He took it. Unfortunately for him, incomplete.
Caught on the left side by Benjamin. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 11 yards there, 1st down.
I'm a little surprised right here. They've got 3 timeouts left. The clock's running down, and they aren't using them. Those timeouts do you no good at home. Use them now.
Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in the game. Back to throw. The tight end Lacoste here out on the right side. Now the Patriots will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 11 seconds remaining in the ball game. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. On the handoff, it's Michel. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Now here's a timeout, as they will indeed call it with 5 seconds to go and a chance with a field goal to win the game. So now it's going to come down to the Pro Bowler Gostkowski. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. So now it's going to come down to the Pro Bowler Gostkowski. It's just a preseason game, but this is for the win. And the 13-year man puts it through, and it's celebration time on that sideline as they have taken the lead in the final seconds. Did you expect anything less from Stephen Gostkowski? This guy, he's a machine out there, Charles.
Even in the clutch, the bigger the situation, the more likely that it goes right down the middle. And I think he just bailed his guys out in the end, yet again.